we're back with more Greatest Attorney. Resolved 2. 2 resolved. I don't know. That last episode was kind of short in comparison to my other episodes. I am so bad with this. I need like a timer on top of my monitor, or I could just not do this fucking ending episodes abruptly kind of thing. Whatever. Why do I give more work to myself? Alright, let's get into it. It all began at the scene where I saw the waxwork and a note tucked inside its jacket. From what you described before, it sounds like the note was anonymous. Did you have any idea who was behind it? There are very few people in the know about what really happened 10 years ago to start with. But anyway, I'd never heard of this engineer. So no, I had no idea. Yet despite not knowing who was behind the plan, you went along with it. I had no choice. Protecting the professor's secret was my only concern. But that horse has bolted now, and the stable door will never shut again. Scotland Yard's reputation will be immeasurably damaged as a result of all this. Yes, thank you, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm well aware of that. So as I understand it, what you found in the birdcage was the waxwork model. Where, then, was the victim's body? Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. Actual body of the victim is indicated in the note's instructions beneath the experimentation stage. So you knew about the special construction of the stage used to carry out the trick then? It was quite obvious what had happened with the victim in the waxwork. And you switched the two over, didn't you? In other words, you recorded the victim's body as having been discovered in the Crystal Tower. And the waxwork? I wrapped it and sent it by carriage to the specified address at the specific time. And why were you given such directions? Presumably, so it could be recovered by Drebber, and returned to Madame Tispel's. I see. And then you put the birdcage back on the experimentation stage. I wonder why even return it. Wouldn't you want to like get rid of the evidence by like burning it up or something? Why even bring it back? It's not like she knew who it was. Yes, although someone obviously made a mistake about which cage should go where. I thought I'd made it perfectly clear to the team, but still. I suppose you were focused on the victim's body, that being a more important detail. Body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I guess you wouldn't want to burn up that body because it's the only evidence of what the professor looks like, right? I guess. I don't know why he would care, but when you say arranged, I presume you mean with this. Yes, the instruction in the engineer's note said something along the lines of fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asmin. So, you mean that was your doing? I fetched Hairbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage and took it with me, alone, to the abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen. Alone, Doctor? Clearly she wasn't alone because she mentioned that, but what did she just say? She said that she brought it to the bottom? Under the stage where the birdcage had fallen. So it was taken from the stage and brought to the bottom. But we found it on the stage, didn't we? I don't know, whatever. I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. No, what? Oh, what? Cutscene. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in dirt. I guess as you have the 3D models, you can just do whatever you want, huh? I approached it and leaned down and slowly opened it up. And then she stabbed him. And then I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. See, you would never get this sort of stuff from the older games. And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report as a fictitious cause of death. Exactly. So, the actual cause of death was the trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop. I mean, she noted it that the vertebrae broke. My word. What is it, Miss Susato? Something about Dr. Sid's last statement. It's playing on my mind. That's all. I guess the fact that we see a stab here, but this is at the Crystal Tower, right? Not at the base of the stage. So I wonder if Susato's doing the same thing I am. I wonder if they're doing the same thing I am, I guess. Or if it's something different. Yes, mine too. Dr. Sith! There's really no need to shout. I can hear you perfectly well. The defense calls for you to add what you just said to your formal testimony. Oh, which part? What I want her to supplement her testimony with is... Maybe? How you stabbed Mr. Asman in the chest. That part. Fine, if that's what you want. But there's really no need to point. I'll point all I damn want, as well as Van Zeke's. The prosecution concurs. God damn it, boy, you both pointing at me. Very well. You will supplement your testimony now, witness. If you wish, my lord. I stood over the victim's corpse where it laid in the top of the cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. Yes, okay, we were all on the right track. Okay, cool. I'm glad I was on the same page as you guys. I've got a nasty feeling that this inconsistency points to an extremely uncomfortable truth. Well, this is the matter, counsel. Have you lost your tongue? I apologize, my lord. Dr. Sith, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point that seems to defy explanation. Out with it, my lord friend. There's an obvious inconsistency between your description and that photograph. This photograph? Whatever. Photograph, whatever. Which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death. The court has already examined that photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it. Yes, we've already considered it, that's true. But we now know the facts to be different. What do you mean? I believe we should let the defense explain. Where in this photograph would we see an alleged inconsistency with the witness's statement? The point that makes no sense is it's the one being made at this very moment. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 am I wrong? Fuck! What? Come on! It's the fact that it's at a different location, is that not it? Uh-oh. Apparently, the victim was lying dead in the birdcage when Dr. Sid stabbed him in the chest. That was the essence of her testimony. I know, and hearing that this is what I thought got it. But then somehow I lost my train of thought at the last moment, and it turned into a not it. What? Don't worry, Miss Naruhodo. I'm sure if you try again, you'll turn back into a got it. We really did that this way. What? Oh shit. Wait. Hang on, I'm gonna save. Not that it matters at this point. I'm trying to figure out what did I do wrong? He got stabbed? Okay. Stabbed in the chest. What's wrong? What I did? Hang on. I stood over the victim's corpse where it laid on the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. What is the inconsistency? I don't know! I thought it'd be the fact that it's like on the watchtower and not at the fucking dirt that she said, right? Because then otherwise how would the body have moved? Unless we're supposed to assume that she had moved the body? I don't know, the blood trail? Probably not. Look closely at the blood stain on the victim's chest. It apparently is the blood stain. It clearly extends to it in a downward direction towards the man's feet. Oh, are we saying it's showing that she stabbed it while he was standing up? Blood can trail down that way, maybe if you're laying down. If there's a slight slant to it, you don't know his life. Why is that significant, Counsel? The victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion. That's entirely expected. Ah, of course. No, that's not what happened. Exactly, my lord. Dr. Sith made it very clear in her testimony just now that the point in which she stole Professor Hairbrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after the grand deception was set in motion, when the birdcage had fallen below the stage out of sight. Oh, never mind. From the shape of it, it's clear that the birdcage would have fallen on its side after the 30-foot drop, and that the victim had really been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position. The blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. Fair, fine. For it to have formed the longitudinal appearance we see in the picture is inconceivable. Bitch, what you hiding? Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downwards from the wound, it must be the case which, when you stabbed Mr. Asman, he was standing up. Like he fell from the 30-foot drop, survived, got up, and then got stabbed. In short, Dr. Sith, your latest testimony was a total fabrication. Is it just say that she's the one who killed him then? Instead of, the drop killing him? I knew it. I was right. Now I've identified that contradiction. There's only one way to explain the facts. We've all been under a great misapprehension here. What? What sort of misapprehension? Dr. Sith. You claim you were coerced into helping Dr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie. Because the question of what the blood stain really tells us has only one possible answer. If that is the case, what is it, man? Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is. Which part of Dr. Sith's story is shown to be a lie by the contradiction in her testimony? Before I'm like worried that like coerced into helping Drebber, you claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime, and you claim you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. Is it the autopsy report? I'm gonna save again. Is it the fact that the autopsy is actually not fabricated, but it's actually true? But she said it was. I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. You say that you examined the body and wrote this report based on your findings. But that's a blatant lie, isn't it? I'm sorry, but I simply can't fathom what you're attempting to say. The truth is, you had your subordinates do the work for you and they authored the report. Oh shit, but then you wielded your superiority over them and claimed the credit for yourself. Okay, I was okay. It was wrong! It was wrong. Okay, in the off chance that this fucking does that long ass game over thing, I'm gonna load back up. Sorry guys, it's ruining the immersion, but I don't want to go through the game over screen. This? The answer is very simple if you consider the sequences of events. If when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeps downward as it did, we can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time. But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage. Yes, it would, which tells us that the victim must have been in that position of his own accord. Oh, I just remembered. The fake part in the autopsy report is just the location of where the body was found. It had nothing to do with the stabbing and the... Okay, my bad. That was my fault. That was me fault. That's impossible! That man was dead, remember? No! That is the misapprehension. When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force. Oh, good morning, sunshine. But Mr. Asman didn't die in the fall. That's pretty impressive. I guess you have to survive somewhat if you're gonna fucking drop from any height. Because even if the kinesis thing succeeded and he dropped, there's a reason why he's in the birdcage. If he dropped, then he still would have, like, you need to protect him somehow. I don't know. I guess it's all fake anyway. He probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came around, he got to his feet to climb out of the cage. Just as Dr. Sith appeared. if the victim was in fact alive at that point in time. It changes everything. If you stab a body while he's dead, or while it's dead, does blood still pump? Would blood still seep out of your body? I guess it would. It's gotta go somewhere. Mr. Oni Asman's killer wasn't the defendant, Professor Albert Harebrain. Nor was it the mastermind behind the stage trickery, Mr. Herlock Drebber. It was you, Dr. Courtney Sith! My head hurts. Order! 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 Can this possibly be true?
Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, wasn't it? You killed him.
You wouldn't have known if it not been for me. You would have been a fool, and you're still a fool. Your damn bushy eyebrows. You hoped that by admitting to being an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end. Before you were accused of a far worse crime. Cold-blooded murder. Oh, do shut up. You're so desperate now. You're making all this up. As if I would do something like that. Susato! I assure you the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Mr. Naruhodo has established the facts using evidence and logic alone. Ha! Logic? Don't make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it. Why would she want Asman dead? What do you mean? I thought it was obvious. A motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason would I have to kill Mr. Asman? Asman was involved in any number of criminal activities, from coercion to death, theft to murder. I'm okay. But there's no known connection to Dr. Sith here. I'm rather relieved to say it does seem somewhat far-fetched. True, there's no obvious motive. But there's still something in the back of my mind. I feel sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at why the coroner might have done this. What could it be? What could it be? Sorry. I don't know what. I don't know why. I don't know. Let's see what it'll try to tell us or hint at us. Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report. But murdering someone for no reason is a very different story. No. When you question what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Asman, something did come to mind. Did it? I don't know. What? What? Or was it, counsel? Enlighten the court at once. Oh my god, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. Yes, we saw it yesterday, didn't we? Something that seemed strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. What was yesterday? Yesterday for you was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago for me. Oh, this? I'm gonna save. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is the scalpels, because that was the weird, like, the what the fuck, but like, what does that have to do with Asman? It's a scalpel, or rather, scalpels. Did you just say scalpels? I don't, what? It would appear that word has struck the chord, Doctor, but I don't understand. Does Asman supply you with the scalpels? You, come on, out with it. It was yesterday, when we visited your laboratory. Look at this big, thick book here. It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh? What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. What do you do? So my earlier theory is not correct, I guess. The whole scalpel's unearthing the mask. But what does this have to do with Asmon? 500 scalpels? A month? Who's manufacturing that much scalpels, man? At first, I wondered what on earth you could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, I realize now it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them, disappearing every month from the department's accounts. Asmon's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its fundings. Tracing the money from the forensic investigation team's account to find out where it was going would be extremely straightforward. So it's the fact that she was using the department's fundings for 500 scalpels a month, and Asmon would find out about it and try to extort her or blackmail her about it. 10 years ago, when Mr. Asmon was still a journalist and wrote this article about Mr. Drebber, he may well have stumbled upon information as he was researching the story. Information relating to Dr. Sid's darkest secret that he would use to rack money from her for the next decade. Her darkest secret? Oh lord, you mean... I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago, but clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own free will. You stabbed Mr. Asmon in the heart with all your might. Silence the blackmailer who knew your darkest secret forever! Wait. Am I to understand that the 500 scalpels is actually just a fucking fake? It's the money that was used to pretend to buy 500 scalpels was being extorted, was being sent to Asmon to like keep him from being quiet because she was being blackmailed. She wasn't actually getting 500 scalpels. I was so set on the idea that she was getting 500 scalpels for her daughter or whatever that I just like, it never occurred to me that that was just fake. I'm stupid. Maybe. I assume that's what it is. Oh my god. You'll never understand. None of you. I didn't realize there was something on top of her head. What we've had to keep covered all these long years. Well, now you can tell us. You say we'll never understand, but if you don't tell us, how are we supposed to know? You can tell us and then we'll understand, maybe. Very little of the machine remains after it was ripped apart by the bomb. The truth of this case can never be properly established, unless you speak out. And if you decide not to, it's very possible that Courtney Sith will escape punishment for her crimes. Please, sir, own up to what you've done, and tell the court the truth about what happened. He was ready to be guilty for me whatever. 10 years ago, you told the truth, and you were robbed of a bright and successful future as a result. I can certainly understand your bitterness and your consternation now. However, this is surely the chance you've been waiting for. Sever the hold that fate's had on you all these years.
Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis? I mean, really. It's the addled brain mock scientists that are the worst, you know. They don't recognize the fact that they don't have talent. They can't even get that right. And so they end up chasing impossible dreams, having unbridled faith in their abilities. They go on and on about their wonderful hypothesis, their stupid eyes shining like little child's. They make me sick. I can't abide their foolishness.
Careful, Mr. Drebber. You were probably like that too.
I was particularly pleased with the kinesis machine. It made for quite a show, didn't it?
So you admit it. You admit that it was nothing more than a sham made for the purpose of killing the victim?
Yes, I admit it. I did it all, in the name of revenge.
Revenge for the future that Mr. Asmon's article had deprived you of 10 years earlier. But the revenge you sought didn't stop at Asmon, did it? which is where that very particular waxwork comes in. Yes, I see. The condemned convict that you saw rising from the grave in Low Gate Cemetery 10 years ago. If your account of those events were all true, I just spat really hard on my microphone, I'm sorry. Then obviously Scotland Yard couldn't afford to acknowledge what had happened. Even if it meant discrediting a bright young man and crushing any future career he might have had. So your plan required that you abduct that particular waxwork model, in order to exact your revenge on Scotland Yard as well. Or on Dr. Sith, to be precise. How? Why? How would that... Huh? I don't know, whatever.
It was a year ago. By some extraordinary twist of fate, Asman turned up at my workshop. He didn't remember who I was, of course. He just wanted to employ my services as an engineer. And he happened to have a paper with him. An article on the front page caught my eye. About the coroner who handled that bogus autopsy being appointed the head of a new forensics team. When I learned that news, my cognitive processes started to devise the plan.
What a horrid tale.
He robbed me of my future, so I wanted to use that man's own wiles against him, for revenge. And have that rotten Scotland Yard eating out of my hands at the same time. I wanted them all to suffer the same humiliation I'd had to suffer.
But Luigi didn't do anything, man. Leave him alone. Your actions against those who ruined your future were justified as revenge. At least, to yourself. Certainly, no one has the right to destroy another's prospect, especially for purely selfish gains. And yet, in carrying out your plan, you did exactly that to someone else, didn't you?
Did I?
Professor Harebrain's only crime was passion for his hypothesis. But you had no compunction about sacrificing his future to effect your revenge. You knew that he would be forever branded a failure and a fraud. Perhaps life treated you unfairly 10 years ago, and others' misconduct left your life in tatters. But remember this. Your own actions result in exactly the same thing for another perfectly innocent young man. He's not above it, apparently. Lord Van Zix, what of Dr. Sith? An immediate warrant for her arrest has been granted, and she's been remanded in custody, my lord. I presume she will face trial in the coming days, along with Mr. Drebber. Oh my god, what strong-hearted is. I'm surprised he hasn't interrupted and being like, what the fuck, dogs? A most regrettable situation indeed. She's made great contributions to her professions over the years. It really is a hard truth to swallow. However, that's a topic for some future occasion. For now, Professor Harebrain. Oh god.
Oh, yes?
Seems that there was a great deal more to your experiment than you realized. However, I think we can assume now that all the sordid details have been brought to light. This has been a very long and profound trial, but I'm pleased to say, you are absolved of all guilt.
This whole experience has taught me a very great but painful lesson. Me, this dedicated scientist, this devotee of natural philosophy. I've been selfish and self-centered, and above all, a fool.
Professor.
I spent my life thinking of nothing but my research, misguidedly believing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, despite my lack of talent. And the worst of it is, in the process, I've caused others pains and misery. Others who are far, far greater people than I.
No, Professor. That's not true.
What?
Don't tar yourself with the same brush as Drebber. What happened was his doing, and his alone. This outcome is his fate, not yours. You're not to blame in any way.
What a good friend!
Lord Van Zieks. And the derision with which he referred to you earlier. Calling you a fool. Talentless, even. The man has no idea. To believe in yourself and work your fingers to the bone to realize your dreams. That's laudable, not laughable. No one has the right to deride another for such choices.
Oh. Thank you, Barok. Oh, friends!
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Oh God, we're here, yes, my lord! God, it is this court's expectation that you find the defendant not guilty of the charge of which he stands accused. I presume there are no objections? None from me, my lord!
Certainly not.
This trial has really made me think, but this is the right decision. It's all been proven methodically and rigorously. I have no misgivings whatsoever.
I like corn. It's over?
I don't know what's become of the yacht these days. I don't recognize the place. Well, whatever. Very well. In that case, I hereby pronounce the defendant. Not guilty. We did it! Hey, Confetti! I'm hungry. But we did it. We did it. This felt like it was a long case, but it's because I took such a long break in between, I don't remember how long it's been. Court is adjourned. But that's it for this chapter. I don't know why they kept saying this is the final chapter. There's no way this is gonna be the final chapter. There's gotta be more. It's over. That was some trial. This is chapter 3. In the first game, there was 5 chapters, so I hope that there's at least 5 chapters in this game. It better not be fucking 4. I won't acknowledge that it's gonna be that short. It better not be that fucking short. I swear to God. I swear to God. I know it has to end eventually, but not now. Professor, what a splendid outcome, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Congratulations, Professor Hairbrain. Mr. Naruhodo, Mr. Sato, I am truly beside myself with gratitude. How can I ever thank you enough?
I'm just glad it's all been cleared up. That you realized you were just caught up in a bad situation.
Right now, if I had that research grant money, I'd give the whole lot to you, every penny.
Well, that's very kind, but I'm just a student, so...
We don't need any financial reward. Your acquittal is more than enough.
I want some money. The fuck, dog? How am I gonna pay my rent?
Oh dear. Oh, what can I do? Aha! How about this? As a memento, the paper about my hypothesis is inside.
Well, just as a memento then. Thank you.
I've been wondering, Professor. What are you going to do now? Oh my. Yes. What am I going to do? My hypothesis and my great machine lies in ruins.
Come up with a new hypothesis.
But still, it's been too long since I was last in London, so perhaps I'll enjoy some sightseeing. I must explore the great exhibition whilst I'm here too. See if new inspirations hit me. Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea.
I can't allow that. Who said that? Oh, Barok, what's up? What's up, dog? Lord Van Zieks, what are you doing in here?
Barok!
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Albert.
Well, if I'm honest, it was terrifying. You were like a great demon behind your bench there, snarling down on your prey.
You're one of the few true friends I have. I couldn't leave it to anybody else to handle the prosecution or the defense. Sorry? Or the defense? Did I just hear that right?
I always knew that you had my best interest at heart. Don't worry. How about you show me around while I'm here in town? It's been a long time since we left university. We have a lot to catch up on.
Listen, Albert. In a few days, your acquittal will be made official. When that happens, you must head straight to Dover. I'll accompany you. Oh, he has to go! He got to leave! Oh, probably because his life is in danger. What? From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. I've already purchased tickets.
But no! Hold on a minute, Barok! What about the Great Exhibition? This is the chance of a lifetime for me! I want to look around!
No sightseeing, Albert. Give up on the idea.
Sometimes it's hard to see any warmth in those eyes, Barok.
Lord Van Zieks. What's all this about? Unnecessary precaution.
He doesn't want Albert to die.
To get die?
Yes, I think I understand.
You do?
Well, Iris told me that when you met Lord Van Zieks at his office some days ago, he asked how Mr. Natsume was doing.
Yes, that's right. I remember being surprised at the time, and thinking it was nice of him to ask.
The point is, Mr. Natsume is still alive and well. Even though, it's been more than 6 months now since he stood trial with the Reaper as the prosecutor.
You mean, the Reaper's influence doesn't stretch overseas? I guess not. Those in the Reaper's sights meets their ends days or sometimes months after their acquittal. That's been the pattern up until now.
But of course, we know that both Mr. Natsume and Gina were completely innocent.
What about Gina's? True. And perhaps that governs the Reaper's actions. The truly innocent are spared. But I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend.
Aww! But Barok!
Like the mustache Nipponese, this man should leave the country without delay.
Gina didn't go anywhere.
That's why I'm packing him off to Germany at once.
Aww!
Right. Does your friend-shaped package get any say in it? It doesn't matter what we're trying to save his life.
Goodness, was this your intention all along then, Lord Van Zieks? What in my heart?
In courts where people think of him as the Reaper, this man seems absolutely merciless. And yet, sometimes I feel as though I don't understand him at all. It's time to go, Albert. Back to the prison for the time being.
Yes. Alright. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you so much for everything!
Not at all, Professor. It was a pleasure getting to know you.
Best wishes, Professor Hairbrain. Well, once it's dust settled, you must come and visit me in Germany. Anyway, goodbye for now.
My God. Barok, you're such a nice man. Now, my Nipponese friend. Yes? I thought you'd gone too. We have matters to discuss. Can you spare me some time? Hell yeah! I'll give you all my time, my dude. You want to talk to me? I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes. Okay. Well, that was strange. For some reason, I didn't get that sense of impending doom as he walked away this time. Let's go. Let's go. We have a date with the fucking Barok. The Enigma. Barok Van Zieks. What does he want to discuss, I wonder? The answer awaits in the courtroom, I suppose. Here goes then. Don't build it up. Come on, let's just go. Oh, Cosmo's still here too. So, are you satisfied? You saved a guileless scientist from a great injustice. Yes, I think so. I'm relieved, at least, that the man's innocence could be proven. Anyway, I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes from. Are you gonna spill the beans about your story? I want to hear it! Oh, this is not the time to slap your face. Well, at first I thought you just didn't like me. I imagine you saw me as a pretentious child from an unimportant land who had no business being here. But now, I think differently. clearly know our ways. So I would guess that some specific incident led to your thorough dislike of my race. Will you tell me what happened? Please? 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 Are we friends? The professor. Was he a Japanese man? I thought I'd never hear that name in this courtroom again, to be honest. Well, maybe not. Probably not.
He took your brother's life.
Clint. My brother was Clint Van Zieks.
Oh my god, yeah, help me.
16 years ago, when I was still just in my teens. He was already the director of prosecutions, and a key member of the judiciary. I looked up to him. He was everything I aspired to be. This seems like a weird time to tell me this. But okay, he was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. There were exchange programs between Britain and other nations then too, to share knowledge and ideas. As part of one of those programs, 3 judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japan. 3?
Oh! If it was 16 years ago, then one of them could have been my father.
Of course. I remember Dr. Mikotoba as well. I had no idea! The other one's Shishiro, isn't it? The other one's the fucking judge! I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office. One day, Clint introduced me to the 3 visiting Nipponese.
So, you've actually met my father.
He and his colleagues were polite and amicable. They were adept at their work in exacting in their standards. It was my first encounter with the Nipponese spirit, and it made a very great impression upon me. But 6 years later, that's when it happened. The investigation was going nowhere. There were no suspects even, just an ever-growing list of victims. And in the end, my brother became one of them. The last, in fact, before the case was finally resolved. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zieks. Truly. Clint was always ready to put his life on the line for justice anyway. So he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He lost his life to the killer, but it was his victory in the end. For me personally, though, it was a great loss. I found myself in a very dark place indeed. When I finally found out the killer's identity, the reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all the time. In plain sight? Are you aware of political events 10 years ago? It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and the Japanese empires. Was he a Japanese man? A new treaty was being forged, I think. Correct. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions. Which is why this particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as a closed trial. If the British public had known the identity of the killer, not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our 2 nations could very well have ended up in a war. He was a Japanese man. Was he the 3rd guy? What? A war between Britain and Japan?
But that would mean... Oh my! You mean to say that the professor was...
Where are you going? Where is he walking to?
審理が終わった時、時が来た。そう思った。
Are you gonna unmask him? Oh, what? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I had to click.
貴公たちがこの恐るべき殺人鬼と対面する時が。え？あの老人形の館の女主人から仮面の鍵を借り受けた。その目でしかと確かめるがいい。10年前の真実を。
これがプロフェッサーの正体。
その通り。
今まで考えたこともありませんでした。英国犯罪史上最悪の事件、その殺人鬼の正体が日本人だったなんて。
A mustachioed man.
待ってください。
この面影どこかで見たことがある。そんな気がいたします。
Kazuma? What's wrong? Does he know him? Is that his father? It couldn't be. It is his father!
父上
Oh no!
父上
It's his dad! His dad was the man! Kazuma!
あそぎ僕の親友麻生木一馬
I'm sweating!
一年の
The emotions are making me sweat. It's too hot to be in a sweater. Whoa, look at how built his body is, dude! You see that? Kazuma!
なるほど久しぶりだな友よ
カズマ様。
ミコトバ法務助手長い間ご苦労だった礼を言う私の代わりに友をここに導いてくれた
カズマ様。
God damn! But
やっぱり生きていたんだなハソギ
but why?
貴様にも礼を言わねばならない何しろそいつを守ってくれたのだからなえあ
Hang on, the pacing could be better. I hate this pacing.
伝わる名刀カルマ日本を出発するときあいつが
I'm
身に
sweating
帯びて
so
いた
badly.
日本人の魂でありいつもそばに置いておきたいとそしてあの事件が起こって僕はスサトさんからこの刀を託されたんだお前が残した思いとともにこいつがあるといつもお前が見守ってくれている気がしていた
Also, I'm sorry to those who might be watching this in the background and rely on English or like me voicing things. Just sorry, I guess. But this is a moment that you should be watching it. But he's back. We still need to know why this happened. Why was he knocked out? Why did he?
やっとたどり着きました父上父上まさかお前知っていたのかその面影だけどとても信じられない殺人鬼の正体が麻生木一馬の父だったなんて
Oh. Wait. Wait. Kazuma, wait! That belongs to somebody! Oh god! Well, now you have to pay the madam to spell.
カズマ様。
なるほど。貴様と積もる話はあるが、今はその時ではない。
It's not?
また会おう。
What? Are you leaving? He left?
麻生木一馬は僕たちを残して法廷から出て行った。
What? I didn't think it. What the hell? Where's Barok? Also, Barok? Where's he in all this? He was just watching all this unfold. Oh, there he is. So he's the living after image of the man who took my brother's life, is he? He didn't do anything. Don't blame him. Yes, Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. I'm sweating so badly right now. 3 months ago, when Lord Strongheart introduced us. I had an inkling there was something there. Some connection. But why did Lord Strongheart do that? Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Zieg's apprentice? And when he was suffering amnesia, too. That man was apprehended, even executed. But his legacy just won't die. That's a sad truth. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I thank you for meeting with me as I asked. "10 years ago, my grandmother took me to the railway station. We were there to meet my father from the train. For me, it was the first time I'd ever seen him." Poor Susato-san. All this is tied up with the painful memories for her too. She's never talked about this with me before, though. It took time to adjust to having father around, but just when I was starting to get used to it, he called me into his study one day. He told me that a great friend of his had passed away in London, and that the friend had left behind a son. A boy, 7 years my senior. Father told me the boy had made a promise to his late father. So he was studying to become a defense lawyer. Oh god, she's really young. I wanted to help, so I studied to become a qualified judicial assistant. As I'm sure you've worked out, that young man's name was Kazuma Asogi. So you see, that's how he and I met.
親友は束の間僕たちの前に姿を現して再び消えた。そしてその瞬間、止まっていた時は動き出す。巨大な運命の車輪が回り始める、きしむような音を聞いた気がした。それは確かに何かが始まり、何かが終わるきっかけだった。
But why did Asogi leave? We have he was the one who brought us fucking here. He deserves we deserve to have him a little longer. But now he's finally unmasked. Oh my god, I'm sweating so badly right now. I don't know why. But that was some way to end that chapter. I can't believe the professor was fucking Kazuma's dad. Oh my god. And I made out the judge to be the evil guy. Are we sure he's still not evil? Twisted karma in his last bow. Is that the final chapter? I hope it's not. I hope there's 5 chapters. I wish. Alright. Well, that was one way to end it. I really have to fucking switch out of the sweater or something, but thank you so much for watching this. It's so good to have Kazuma back proper. Although he fucking left me again, so I don't know. We don't really have him proper. I really missed the boy though. My god, Barok is so nice to us. Oh my god. I'm so excited for this next chapter, and I hope it's not the last, but it probably is going to be the last. It's probably going to be a very long one, I'm sure. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot involving Strongheart, the judge, Mikotoba. There's going to be a lot happening. I'm just... Oh, it's going to be a doozy. All right. See you next time. If you like this video, thanks. Whatever. I don't, no one watches this. Anyway. Okay, bye!